Hi, I'm Kevin Bissaro with Overwork, and today we're going to talk about the new iOptron HAZ31 go-to mount. A go-to mount finds objects in the night sky and tracks them. So if you say, go to Saturn, it'll point your binocular right at Saturn, and then it'll stay on it for hours. This is a replacement for the old AZ Pro mount from iOptron, and they worked in a similar manner, but if we had a very heavy binocular, for example, the Oberwerk 127 XL SD, that binocular weighs 25 pounds with the eyepieces installed. So on the AZ Pro, we would have to counterbalance that binocular with 25 pounds of counterweight. Ended up being a 60-pound load on the tripod, which we couldn't even put that on the TR3 hardwood tripod. This tops out at 40 pounds, so we would have to use a special tripod for iOptron just to use that combination. The new HAZ31 is game-changing in that it's what's called a strain wave mount, which means it doesn't use counterweights. So we can put up to 31 pounds on this mount, and we don't have to counterbalance it. That means even with a heavy binocular like the BT127, this is an 8-pound mount, so 33 pounds total, easily handled by the TR3 hardwood tripod. Today we're going to mount up the BT100 XL SD. This is just a 13-pound binocular. Just a matter of sliding in the Vixen dovetail and tightening it up. By the way, this will use a variety of dovetails, Vixen, Lasmandi, but we sell a Vixen-style dovetail that we recommend because it has a safety stop built into it. So if this connection slips for whatever reason, we're not going to lose our binocular off the back end. There's two ways to use a mount like this, in manual mode and automatic mode. This has built-in GPS, so we don't have to do anything other than turn it on and tell it to do its auto setup. So I'm powering it up. And the first thing it says is, do you want to run the alignment wizard? And I'll say yes. And as you can see, it's tilting the binocular back, getting it out of the way, because it needs to sense GPS satellites, and the sensor is in the very top. So we've got to get the binocular out of the way. And it's also going to do a 360-degree spin as it's acquiring satellites. We should talk about some accessories for this in addition to the dovetail mount. It comes with a 120-volt power supply, but we have to keep track of where the cord is if we're using that, and we have to be careful of cord wrap, and that's especially hard to do at night. So we highly recommend their lithium battery pack, which just velcros on the front here, and then it's all self-contained. There's no wires to worry about other than the hand controller. So there are thousands of objects built into this hand controller. We can follow the sun, we can follow planets, we can follow any of the Messier objects. There's other catalogs in here too, thousands of objects. Because we're running this in daylight, normally you would do this at night, you'd be set up outside, and it's going to point at the brightest object in the night sky. And then it's going to have you confirm that that object is in the center of the field of view. And if it's not, you can fine-tune it with the arrow keys, get that right in the middle of the field of view, and then you're ready to go. Because it's daylight, it wants to point at the sun, and that's what it's doing right now. And it gave me a warning that, do you really want to point at the sun? And if we were actually doing that, we'd have to make sure we had solar filters in place, but we're indoors now, so we're fine. Another accessory I should mention is the Oberwerk Mini-Pier. That's this piece you see right here. If we did not have this, when it did that initial setup where it pointed straight up and then started spinning around, the bottom of the binocular could hit the top of the tripod legs. So if you're going to use this setup, we highly recommend adding the Oberwerk Mini-Pier. All right, and now it is pointed at the sun, and if I could actually see it, I would look through here and fine-tune with my arrow buttons to get it right on target, and from there it's ready to go. The other way to use this mount is manually. And when I power it up and it says, do you want to run the setup wizard? I'm going to say no. And now we're ready to control the mount manually. We have speeds 1 through 9. I'm going to select 9, which is the fastest. And then I can just use the arrow keys to move any way I want. I should point out that this is the only way to steer the binocular is with the hand controller. We can't grab the binocular and steer it like we could with a conventional mount. So if you're using this in daylight, you've got to use the hand controller to steer the binocular. But I think it's kind of fun. I like using this in daylight. I think that's it. Thanks for watching.